The following is a presentation of the Waynesburg University Sports Network.
Well, just about 48 hours since we've talked to you last here on the Waynesburg University Sports Network, we're back. The Waynesburg women will take on the Geneva Golden Tornadoes tonight at the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse, and in preparation for that, we're getting you ready. My name's Jack Hillgrove. I'm joined up here by Nicholas Callis and Christopher Hulse, getting you set for Waynesburg and Geneva. First, the Waynesburg women have already played 2 games. The Waynesburg men have already played 1 game. Both teams are a combined 0-3. The Waynesburg women losing to Geneva, or rather, hopefully they don't lose to Geneva tonight. Grove City and Westminster. The Waynesburg men losing to Westminster. Again, 0-3 is the combined record for both of these teams to start the season. We're going to break down the start of the season for this first segment. So, Chris, let me start with you. Your overall impression on both, well, I guess we'll start with the women since they have more games under their belt. Your overall impression on the women to start this season.
I mean, it's definitely been a tough start for the women's team so far this season, specifically looking at their turnovers. 21 turnovers per game in their 2 losses so far. It's something that you definitely like to see them clean up. Also, 3-point attempts. They were 3 for 10 against Grove City. Not great, not terrible, but then they had 21 3-point field goal attempts against Westminster on Saturday. They converted 2 of them. So that's an area you really want to see Waynesburg improve. If you're going to point to a bright spot, it has to be Andrea Orlowski, the senior forward for them. She's been a bright spot, averaging over 21 points a game, 12 rebounds per game. But she can't do it alone. She needs help from Brooke Fuller. We saw her get back in the lineup on Saturday. And also the Waynesburg bench, the Lady Jackets, had 2 points off the bench against Westminster. They're going to have to step up in a big way if they're going to improve from this 0-2 start.
Andrea Orlowski to start the season, 22 points and 12 rebounds in the first 2 games. Brooke Fuller, 14 on Saturday. One of the things that, Nick, you mentioned, I heard you say before we went on the air, that they can't waste performances, especially like Andrea Orlowski, averaging 22 to start the season, 26 on Saturday against Westminster. It was a waste of performance. She played very, very well, and she's going to be one of those players that can get to 20-plus points a night for Waynesburg, and they just have to capitalize on those situations and be able to support her enough to rally around her and get a W.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a team right now that has 9 players on the roster, so it's not a depth-filled roster. They've just got to start getting breakout performances from some of the underclassmen. Some of the underclassmen need to start getting that experience, learning from mistakes, make adjustments, and help out the upperclassmen. But also, Elena McDermott didn't finish with the top 3 scorers in either game that Waynesburg has played so far, and she's one of the seniors. So if she gets some consistency and she complements Andrea Orlowski, Brooke Fuller gets going a little bit more as well, and then some of these freshmen come along and they put together good performances, I think Waynesburg will have a better opportunity to win games as the season continues to progress.
Yeah, one of the things that excited me coming into this season was the emergence of Abigail Green. She played in the first 2 games on the season, averaging 6.5 points and 6.5 rebounds per game. Last year, and she's a junior, first-year member on the team. She played in high school. And I thought a lot of times last year that Brooke Fuller was not by herself, so to speak, but the only inside threat for the Jackets. Zoe Smith was on the team to start the season. She ended up leaving the team, and now Brooke Fuller has a companion, so to speak, down low. Abigail Green averaging 6.5 points, 6.5 rebounds to start the season. Some other newcomers, Marley Wolf, a freshman from Riverside, Pennsylvania, 5.5 points, 2.5 rebounds per game. Avery Robinson, 1.5 points to start this season. Casey Castrol coming back into the fold after missing the first game. She had 3 points on Saturday. And I mentioned Avery Robinson already. That's pretty much it when it comes to the newcomers. It's really not a roster with a lot of players. You mentioned that with depth. Anika Dansby, 7.5 points per game. She's coming back this year. And that was another one, too, that kind of came on strong last year. The freshman point guard. Both teams, we'll talk about the men having freshman point guards last year. Ryan Felberg for the men, Anika Dansby for the women. Chris, what are some of the things that you think, as far as Anika's game goes, how important she is to be able to take it to the next level and facilitate the offense?
I mean, yeah, Anika Dansby is extremely important. You think she's undersized, like 5'4" as a point guard. Last year as a freshman, though, she wasn't afraid to get inside and sort of help out. She is capable of pulling down rebounds just as much as she is of dishing the ball off to her teammates. So I think she's a really important part of the Waynesburg offense. And yeah, they are a much better team when Anika Dansby is out there on the floor because she's able to move the ball to Orlowski. She's able to get it down low to Fuller. I think the team is at its best when the offense is running through her. And she hasn't been off to the best start. She struggled a bit in the game against Grove City, a lot of turnovers, but that wasn't just her. That's been a struggle for the whole team, as I mentioned.
Yeah, 34% from the field to start the season for the Waynesburg women. The rebound margin minus 13.5, and that was something when we talk about the men. They got destroyed on the boards by Westminster on Saturday. So the women minus 13.5 in the rebound margin. The turnover margin not that bad, -3. They're stealing it 7.5 times per game, 2.5 blocks per game, and the 3-point percentage. This is a glaring number and needs to improve. 16% from beyond the arc from 3. And Anika Dansby, who Chris just talked about, proved last year, Nick, that she can make some of those knockdown shots, and Casey Castro can as well. So hopefully, with Casey back into the lineup again for the second time tonight, they can grow on that 16% number because it's not good.
No, and I think too, just the more that they shoot and the more that they get in that rhythm, moving the ball and then executing the shots, then I think that they'll do better. But I know for a fact, I've seen Anika Dansby shoot in practice. She is a really good shooter. Like, she's a good guard, and as Chris said, her on the team makes the team better. So I agree with that for certain. It's just as simple as that. The numbers got to get better. However, that will happen though. It's up to whatever adjustments that the team makes. But I do believe the potential is there. Castrol and Dansby, they start making threes. They start getting into that rhythm. The ball gets moved more. Space gets created for those two players, along with Orlowski scoring up above 20 and Brooke Fuller getting inside, making all those inside shots. They'll be fine. I see improvement coming.
Yeah, you'll sit down with Sam Jones at halftime during the halftime show, so be sure to stick around for that. But now we shift to the men's team, and we'll predict later on in the show before we take it to Riley and Adam. We'll predict the women's game tonight, but the men. 81-52 final score on Saturday against the Westminster Titans. Isaiah Alonso had 20 points, really not missing a beat from last year. Shot at 7 for 16 from the field, had 6 rebounds, but he was it. The next highest score for the Waynesburg men on Saturday was Ryan Feldberg and freshman Jansen Knotts. They had 5 points. So there's a glaring issue to start this season, so to speak, with Isaiah Alonso being able to score and not getting a lot of help. But I also think, Chris, Westminster played 2 games coming into that game. No matter the talent differential, and I said this, Nick and I were on the call, no matter the talent differential between two teams, if you are playing a team that's played twice and you haven't played yet, especially with a new roster, and a brand new roster almost for the Waynesburg men, it's a huge advantage.
Absolutely. And, I think Waynesburg had a good start. They led by 6 early in that first half, but Westminster was able to break them down. Like you said, they've played 2 games. They have their legs going. And that full court press that they were running, I think by the end of the first half, you saw that it wore Waynesburg down. At one point, the Westminster Titans went on a 40-10 run. And like you said, Alonso didn't miss a beat, came out with 20 points. Matt Popek missed almost all of last season with injury. He came back and he struggled. He shot 2 for 10. Waynesburg as a team shot 30%. That's not going to continue. Westminster, arguably the favorite, I think, to win the PAC title this year. So it's not a huge surprise that with games under their belt, they were able to come out and beat Waynesburg. I think Waynesburg, this loss, while it looks ugly on paper, it's an important step, shaking off the rust as they get ready to play some more teams around the PAC.
Yeah, 13 turnovers for the men on Saturday. They shot at 10 for 12 from the charity stripe. Isaiah Alonso was 5 for 5 from the free throw line. Your thoughts on the men's team? You and I called the game.
Yeah.
You analyzing it from the associates' perspective in the first half and then play-by-play the second half. What were your takeaways?
Well, first of all, Isaiah Alonso's 20 points led all scorers. So, that's pretty impressive. Unfortunate that Waynesburg lost with a performance like that. But then again, it's got to be more of the team scoring. It can't just be Isaiah Alonso. That's been proven on both the men's team and the women's team through the first few games of the season. But I think that it's another one of those things where you guys said the underclassmen, they haven't really mended together quite well yet. I thought some shots were forced by some of the freshmen, which led to misses, which led to turnovers, and then Westminster got to score. But even given that, Westminster went on a 23-6 run at the end of the first half to really break away from Waynesburg. I think it had something to do with the full court press, as Chris said, but whatever happened, that's the statistic that I think separates that game. Because if that 23-6 run doesn't happen, I think Waynesburg keeps that game much closer, and they very well might win. But that breakdown, the last 10 minutes of the first half, that breakdown that happened, that run that Westminster went on, that caused the lead to expand for Westminster, and I think that ultimately caused Waynesburg to lose the game.
Yeah, the Lady Jays 0-2 to start the season, the men 0-1. The Lady Jays is the game we're previewing, but the men take on Geneva in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania tonight, and we're going to preview and predict that game next here on the Waynesburg University Sports Network.
It's a Saturday night. You know what that means. Time to party. Sam is having a good time, watching sports, drinking beer, playing pong. Not a care in the world for Sam. Nobody at the party stops Sam. They let him walk out the door with his keys, even though he was stumbling, having a hard time to stand up. What happened less than 10 minutes later would change Sam's life forever.
Adam Morgante and Riley Holsinger will be on the call tonight for the Waynesburg women's game against the Geneva Lady Golden Tornadoes, which we are airing right here on the Waynesburg University Sports Network. But the men also play the Geneva Golden Tornadoes tonight. That game is in Beaver Falls. I'm Jack Hillgrove, Chris Hulse, Nicholas Callis. We're going to preview it for you. Geneva, a 68-66 loss to St. Vincent to start the season. St. Vincent, one of the better teams within the last 5-10 years in the PAC, and they gave them a little bit of a run for their money. Geneva's 0-1 to start the season like the Waynesburg men are, but on paper, you got to be a little bit concerned if you're the Waynesburg men because Waynesburg lost pretty bad to a team in Westminster. Geneva played a good team like Waynesburg did, and St. Vincent only lost by 2.
Yeah, and last year, this was a pretty good matchup between the two teams. They split the season series. Both games extremely close, decided by 4 points or fewer. But some of Waynesburg's top performers from those games are no longer here. Cam Ald, Frank Bozovic, Brendan Smith, these were all guys who scored in double figures against Geneva last year. They're no longer on the team. And like you said, Geneva, with their opening loss to St. Vincent, they kept it close, though. And for Waynesburg, a guy you want to keep an eye on, A.J. Stroop, the center for the Golden Tornadoes. He's 6'8". He pulled in double-digit rebounds in the loss against St. Vincent. And Waynesburg allowed 19 offensive rebounds to Westminster. They gave up a lot of second-chance opportunities to the Titans on Saturday. That's something they are going to have to clean up if they want to beat Geneva tonight. Yeah,
Waynesburg out-rebounded by Westminster by 30 or 20. I think it was a 50-30. Yeah, so out-rebounded by 20. Geneva only out-rebounded by St. Vincent by 9. And St. Vincent has a guy named Shamar Bennett who had 19 points and 13 rebounds and is arguably the best forward in the PAC. Nick, what are you expecting out of this Waynesburg men matchup tonight against Geneva?
Honestly, they've got to contain the inside with all of these tall players. I think Isaiah Alonso's got to be in there and helping out on the interior. But I'm looking for Ryan Felberg, too, to kind of step into his element, not only as a guard on offense, but also on defense. He had a block or two in the game that I recall, and he's gotten a lot bigger. So I look for him to play more of a defensive role in this game and more throughout this season than he did last season. But really, it's just about, even though you're going up against a team that has some stronger guys, just work on the routine, get in sync, and just practice on working with the players that you have and put together a good performance. Stay strong like they did against Westminster, but don't let the game get carried away. Don't let Geneva go on a run, and I think that they'll compete.
Yeah, and I think something that it's important to point out, Geneva were in foul trouble for much of their game against St. Vincent. 24 team fouls. They allowed the Bearcats to shoot 30 free throws.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, Waynesburg, they only got to the line 12 times against Westminster, but they shot 83% from the charity stripe when they were there. If Waynesburg can get Geneva into foul trouble again, and they can continue to be as efficient from the free throw line, those are a lot more points that Waynesburg are going to have in their column, and that could go a long way.
Yeah, Waynesburg started out last season 0-12. Their first win was at Geneva last year, the birthplace of college basketball, so to speak. And they came down the second half in that game. Bruce Davidson and I were on the call for it for Green Sports. And the second half, they were world beaters. They couldn't miss. And a guy, like you mentioned, Ryan Fehlberg, who down the stretch last year became one of the really good point guards in the PAC. And, there were some struggles in his game on Saturday, but he did have 5 assists. He assisted on 5 baskets for Waynesburg, led the team, so hopefully he can build on that as the starting point guard. And Matt Popek, you would hope that his game goes up because his ceiling is as high as perhaps being the best player in the PAC. We've seen that from him as a freshman and a sophomore. So hopefully, in only the 21 minutes that he saw on Saturday, hopefully those minutes can go up, and hopefully those points can go up too. All right, real quick before we take a break, let's predict this game. Callis, I'll start with you. Who do you like, Geneva or Waynesburg?
I'll take Waynesburg on this one, just because I think after they played one game, I think that they'll get back in sync. And I think that as long as they don't let Geneva get carried away, like I said before, I think that they'll compete, and I'll favor them in this one. I think Waynesburg will beat Geneva tonight.
I like Waynesburg as well. I think, though, they're going to have to be smarter with their shot selection than they were against Westminster. But, I like Waynesburg a lot in this one. Isaiah Alonso, I'm expecting a big game from him, as well as Ryan Fehlberg.
Yeah, that matchup will be important inside. Isaiah Alonso going up against the 6'8" center from the Geneva College Golden Tornadoes. So they didn't shoot it very well. Waynesburg didn't. They shot 32%, or rather 30% from the field against Westminster, but Geneva only shot at 32% against St. Vincent. And while that was only a 2-point margin, Geneva only turned it over 12 times. Waynesburg turned it over against Westminster 13 times. So I expect a game where there are minimal mistakes from either team. If there was a point spread on it, I would take the under. I think this is going to be a game heavily favored in the half court. Head coach Tim Fusina likes to favor that half court defense and stress, getting turnovers in the half court. I think I'm going to agree with you guys. I think the Waynesburg men carry over that good momentum from last year. Isaiah Alonso and Ryan Fehlberg down the stretch played very, very well against Geneva last season on the road when they picked up their first win in the 2019-2020 campaign. And I think I'm going to take the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets by 6 to 10 points. I think it's going to be a pretty not dominant victory by any stretch. It might be a little back and forth in the first half, but I think when it's all said and done, you're going to see the second half, especially the latter half of half number 2, and you're going to see and be able to tell that the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets were in control and were the better team. So that's our predictions for the Waynesburg men's game tonight against Geneva College. And remember, Nicholas Callis, who's up here right now, has a halftime interview with women's basketball head coach Sam Jones. You won't want to miss that. Adam Morgante and Riley Holsinger are on the call. We'll send that to them in about 5 or so minutes. But when we come back, it's the game that you're getting ready to watch. We're going to preview and predict the Waynesburg women against the Geneva College women right here on the Waynesburg University Sports Network.
Have you ever been to the Everly Library? If not, you should, because it's great. They have books of all different genres: history, biography, fiction. Try The Evolution of Life, Life of Pi, or Jurassic Park. So what if books aren't your thing? Try movies, like Frozen, or TV shows, like Lost. Books and DVDs aren't the only thing, though. Take a trip to the second floor. Welcome to the Writing Center. These tutors will tell you everything you need to know about writing a paper, and they'll help revise your essays. Now let's head back down. Behold, the Knox Learning Center. Need to print something out 5 minutes before your next class because you procrastinated? No problem. You can also print off pictures of dogs. Because, well, you can. So grab your homework, laptop, and textbook, and study diligently. Bring your lunch too. Actually, you can't. That's illegal. Now you know the Everly Library. Stop by anytime. Seriously, it's open all week.
Welcome back to the Waynesburg University Sports Network pregame show. My name's Jack Hillgrove. The first time you will see the Waynesburg women in action tonight on the Waynesburg University Sports Network is coming up in about 5 or so minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, give or take. The Waynesburg women take on the Geneva College Lady Golden Tornadoes. Jack Hillgrove, Chris Hulse, Nicholas Callis, we're here to break it down. First, let's preview before we predict. The Waynesburg women, as we said in the open, are 0-2. Unlike the men who are 0-1, they've played one fewer game. What are some of the storylines? Chris, I'll start with you. Some of the storylines heading into this game, some stuff that sticks out to you as far as this matchup that Waynesburg has against Geneva College.
Well, I go back to last season again. Waynesburg pretty much dominated against Geneva in their 2 matchups last season. And unlike the Waynesburg men, the focal points for the team in those games are still here. Andrea Orlowski, 23 points per game in the 2 matchups last season. Brooke Fuller, just a hair under 18 points per game in those 2. Orlowski also had 2 double-doubles, 1 for each game. So I think if she's continuing to have the hot start that she has this season, continuing to dominate against Geneva like she did last season, that's something I'm looking for from the Waynesburg perspective.
Yeah, Geneva is 1-1 on the young 2021 campaign, an 85-61 win over new member Franciscan University out of Steubenville, Ohio. So a good win there, and a not so good performance on Saturday against St. Vincent College at home. 95-61, they were losers there. So Geneva's 1-1, one more win than Waynesburg has. Nick, what are some stuff sticking out to you for this game tonight?
Well, right now I see Andrea Orlowski being a threat no matter what. I think she's a big storyline because, 18 points against Grove City, which is a dominant team. Westminster, good team. She scored 26. So I think that her continuing to score and her continuing to be a catalyst for Waynesburg will be important. Now, what's also going to be important is Geneva has 14 rostered players on its team. Waynesburg has 9. So it's going to be a battle of the depth. Which team is going to be able to cycle through a rotation, keep stamina up, play through the entire 40-minute game, and earn a win. Waynesburg's a little bit more disadvantaged, though, because you got 5 on the court, but 9 rostered. So that leaves 4 bench players who cycle in and have to perform at a level where they want to win the game.
One of the things that sticks out to me tonight, and again, Brooke Fuller missed game number 1, back for game number 2, had a good performance, 14 points on Saturday against Westminster. Her season high last year, as I look, was 27 points against St. Vincent, and that was a pretty good game. But one of her more efficient and better performances, if you ask me, and the only reason why I say this is because I was there and I watched it, was against Geneva College. She had 19 points. She hauled in 9 boards, and she shot just around 50%, or just over 50%, 8 of 15 from the field. So she was very, very good inside against Geneva last year. I look for her based off of the momentum that she established in game 1 against Westminster to carry that over in friendly confines tonight in the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse and have a big game against Geneva tonight. And hopefully Andrea Orlowski can get going like we've seen to start this season, and maybe even Casey Castrol knocking down a couple of threes on the wing like we know that she can as well. All right, that's our storylines heading into this one. It's time we take our picks. Chris will go first. My friend, Geneva or Waynesburg? Do the Lady Jays get in the win column in game number 3?
All right, so I'm not going to try and overthink this. Waynesburg is 0-2, but who have they lost to? Grove City, the defending PAC champions, and Westminster, who were 3rd in the PAC last season. Right now, they sit in first place with a record of 2-0. Geneva is not as good as those teams. Waynesburg, they're getting Brooke Fuller and Casey Castrol readjusted. They're getting them in the rotation. I like the Lady Jays to win their first game of the season tonight.
There it is. Chris Hulse takes Waynesburg. Nicholas Callis, do you agree?
I don't. I think Geneva's going to pull this game out. I understand that they lost to some tough opponents in their first couple games, but Andrea Orlowski was pretty much her show throughout both of those games. I just don't think that with Geneva's weapons that it has, I don't think that Waynesburg is going to be able to match that. And by the way, I think Geneva's win already against Franciscan proves that they could beat Franciscan and they could beat a team like Waynesburg that has a lack of depth and a lack of experience so far this season.
Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. I'm going to hit you with a not so fast, my friend. Look, 93-76 was the margin of victory last year for the Waynesburg women against Geneva College, and that game was on the road. I already talked about Brooke Fuller's ability to score the basketball. I think she continues to do that tonight. 4 players were in double figures last year in this game. Andrea Orlowski, 21. Brooke had 19. Casey Castrol had 14. And Allie Delaney had 14. 3 of those 4 back. I think those 3 play a huge factor into tonight's game. And the one bugaboo that the Waynesburg women had last year against Geneva College was they had 24 turnovers. I think they clean up those turnovers, and I think maybe not as 17 points as dominant as it was last year, but don't be surprised if Waynesburg not only wins this game, but wins it by double digits. Well, that's all for Nicholas and for Chris. My name's Jack. We're going to take one more break, and when we come back, I'll throw it down to our 2 announcers that'll have the action tonight, Riley Holsinger and Adam Morgante.
It's a Saturday night. You know what that means. Time to party. Sam is having a good time, watching sports, drinking beer, playing pong. Not a care in the world for Sam. Nobody at the party stopped Sam. They let him walk out the door with his keys, even though he was stumbling, having a hard time to stand up. What happened less than 10 minutes later would change Sam's life forever.
Thanks again for watching the Waynesburg University Sports Network pregame show. Again, we'll be up here on the 4th floor studio of Buell Hall before every game, previewing every matchup here on the Waynesburg University Sports Network. Don't forget, Nicholas Callis has an exclusive interview with Lady Jays head coach Sam Jones. That'll air at halftime. But for now, let's send it down to the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse and join our announcers, Adam Morgante and Riley Holsinger.
For this President's Athletic Conference matchup between the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets and the Geneva Golden Tornadoes on the Waynesburg University Sports Network. I'm Adam Morgante, joined by my partner Riley Holsinger. Coming into this game, Waynesburg's 0-2, losing to Geneva in their first game and losing to Westminster on Saturday. Geneva comes into this game 1-1, defeating Franciscan in their first matchup and losing to St. Vincent on Saturday. Now I'll welcome in my partner Riley Holsinger. And Riley, what does Geneva, or what are some key matchups between Geneva and Waynesburg that you're looking for in this game?
I think the biggest matchup that I'm looking forward to in this matchup, Adam, is Brooke Fuller for Waynesburg University versus Lauren Tipton of Geneva. Tipton and Fuller, they battle when they play against each other. Last season, Brooke Fuller won the matchups against Tipton. Well, at least one of them, I'd say, against Tipton, in scoring 19 points and getting 9 boards in a game against Geneva last year when Waynesburg beat Geneva in both games last year. So that's going to be the matchup I'm going to be looking forward to, because if Waynesburg can slow down Lauren Tipton, like how St. Vincent did on Saturday, Waynesburg should be able to easily win this game. But Brooke Fuller needs to get off to a hot start for Waynesburg as well. She's a little rusty.
Yeah, last season, Waynesburg won both matchups. They won the first matchup on January 4th, 2020, 93-76, and on February 5th, 93-58. And in both matchups, Lauren Tipton, you mentioned one of the matchups, she did really well even though her team lost. She scored 23 points in the first game, and she also scored 25 points in the second time these two teams played against each other, as both teams are on their respective benches as we will get ready for the national anthem.
I'll tell you what, Adam, I am now excited for this game, as if I already wasn't excited. I was excited all day for this game. That national anthem, it just gave me a big adrenaline boost. I kind of wish we would have had Mr. Caleb Yager, who is PA announcing, sing it as well. But I'm ready to go, Adam.
Yep, very good singer. Now starters for Geneva, a sophomore Tess Liggett. Next up, number 10, freshman Cynthia Stewart. Number 12, a sophomore guard, Isabella Roth. And now at forward as senior, number 13, Lauren Tipton. To round out the starting lineup will be a senior guard, Emily Melnick. Now over to the Waynesburg side for starters. Geneva is coached by Michael Grinder in his second season. He has a 4-22 record, assisted by Zach Stitt. Now here's the Waynesburg starting lineup. With the Chicago Bulls theme for the intros. First is a 6-foot junior, Brooke Fuller, number 1. Next up is a 5'8 junior, number 2, Casey Castrol. Coming up next is one of the seniors on the team, 5'6 senior, Alana McDermott. The other senior is up next for Waynesburg, number 13, 5'8 senior, Andrea Orlowski. In the round out the starting lineup is a 5'4" sophomore, Anika Dansby. As Waynesburg is coached by Sam Jones, his 13th season. He has a record of 167 and 166. The assistant coaches are Matt Pioch and Jess Vormalker. They're each in their second season as assistant coach. Jess Vormalker, she played in the PAC with Teal, one of the best players in the PAC at her time, but she decided right after she graduated that she would come coach one of her former PAC foes in Waynesburg. As we are just about ready for tip-off here at the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse in this President's Athletic Conference game between Waynesburg and Geneva. As Geneva waits at the court, Waynesburg breaks huddle, and we are about ready to go here.
The thing I'm going to be looking forward for from Waynesburg is playing with more energy. Coach Sam Jones said after the loss on Saturday to Westminster that they're young, they're new, a lot of young players on this team, but they need to play with more energy and focus.
Here's a tip between Fuller and Tipton. Tipton will win the tip for Geneva. He'll get it over the Stewart as she crosses the timeline. Jules Beyond gets it over the Melnick. She dribbles, looks for a pass. She goes in the middle lane, puts up a layup, no good, rebounded by Castrol, and she goes the other way for Waynesburg. Gets it over to Dansby. She slows down, settles the offense. Geneva in man-to-man defense. Crossover move by Dansby. She puts up a floater, in and out, no good. Rebound goes to Geneva's Liggett. She throws a skip pass to Stewart, far corner. She drives baseline. And
I think they're going to say that went out of bounds there, Adam.
yeah, it did. Out of bounds, Waynesburg ball. Orlowski will inbound it for the Lady Jackets. She'll inbound it to Dansby.
So far, a fast-paced game from both teams.
Yeah, Geneva now pressing, and they force a turnover, but that'll be the first foul of the game. That foul will go on Isabella Roth, her first, team first of the quarter, as Orlowski will inbound once again right in front of the scores table. As Geneva with a little press going on here. As Waynesburg experienced that in their first game, but Dansby breaks it easily. But Castro gets called for travel as Waynesburg turns it over. Geneva basketball. Liggett will inbound it in front of her own bench, and she'll inbound it to Cynthia Stewart, the freshman. She controls the ball for the Geneva offense, but we have a steal by Dansby and Fuller. They fight over, but they are able to get up to Orlowski. She puts up her layup, and it's good. Orlowski with the first points of this game, 2-0 Waynesburg.
Andrea Orlowski's off to a hot start so far.
Tipton now has it foul line. She drives middle of the paint. She puts up a hook shot, no good. Rebound Fuller. Now up to Dansby. She crosses the timeline. She dribbles into the middle of the lane, and they call a jump ball, and the possession arrow favors Waynesburg. 2-0 here early on, 8:40 left in the first quarter. McDermott will inbound the ball for Waynesburg underneath their own basket. She gets now top of the Orlowski. She takes the jumper from the free throw line. It's too strong. Rebound goes to Roth, and she gets an outlet pass up to Tipton. She backs in, she puts up a floater, no good. Rebound goes to Roth, but is deflected out of bounds by McDermott.
That was a mismatch defensively, having Tipton guarded by Anika Dansby, but Dansby stood her ground in there and didn't give up any easy points.
Now Melnick controls the offense. She takes a three from the top of the key, in and out, no good. Rebound goes to Fuller. She hands it off to McDermott, and she will get things under control for this Lady Jacket offense. Looks for a pass, gets it over to Orlowski. Now she drives in, puts up a jumper from the block and is way too strong. Rebound goes to Geneva. Now inside the Tipton as she steps on the baseline, and it'll be Waynesburg basketball. The second time Geneva's stepped on the baseline. And we have a hockey change full of players for Geneva. We have Shaw, King, Wolf, and we also have Hampshire into the lineup for Geneva. Orlowski now inbounds it as Geneva continues to have the full court press. Over now to Dansby as they looked across the timeline. Back to Orlowski. She splits defenders. She gets past the timeline. Bounce pass inside the Fuller. Great passing by the Jackets. And Fuller gets her layup to go. 4-0 Waynesburg.
Before the game, Sam Jones said he wanted a lot of passing to lead to scoring, and that's what we saw on that play right there.
Shaw now drives into the middle lane, but it's blocked by McDermott. Fuller gets it back to McDermott. Great defense there by McDermott and gets it off to Dansby now.
McDermott's the defensive specialist of the lineup for the Lady Jackets.
As Shaw comes from behind and deflects it from Dansby out of bounds, but it'll be Waynesburg basketball. McDermott now looking to inbound it, gets it over to Fuller. She fakes it to Dansby, and she now gets it to McDermott. Dangerous pass there. Gets it Orlowski inside. Right-handed layup. Too strong. Rebound goes to Shannon Wolf. Up to Shaw.
Orlowski's 1 for 4 thus far in this game.
Shaw now tries to go inside, but it's deflected and intercepted by Brooke Fuller. Great defense so far early for the Jackets. Now Castro takes a three from the corner. Too strong. Rebounded by Shaw. Shaw now controls the offense for Geneva. Inside to Wolf. Her layup is also blocked. Castro gets it, but it's stolen right back to Geneva. Layup too strong by Bouquet. Rebound Castro, and Waynesburg will slow things down with a little bit fast pace of play so far.
It's going to be tough for me to see how they end up going 40 minutes with this pace.
Castro now thinks about a three. Now she dribbles. Looks for a pass. Now goes to Fuller. She takes a jumper from the right elbow off the front of the rim. But looks like there's a foul. Yes, there's a foul on Casey Castro. Her first, team first. She was fighting for the rebound. Now we have two new Lady Jackets into the game. Abigail Green and Marley Wolf. Wolf the freshman and Green the junior. Now Shaw brings the ball up for Geneva. Goes through the timeline. Dribbles to her right. Hands it off to Hampshire. She takes a three. Not even close. Rebounded by Orlowski.
That was Curry range.
And she goes inside the green, back out to McDermott. Dansby top of the key. Three. No. Orlowski, though, fighting for the rebounds. And they call a jump ball. Possession arrow will go to Geneva. Hampshire fights for the jump ball.
I'm loving the effort thus far, Adam. It's definitely impressive. Both of these teams have something to prove to each other, and both of these teams know that it's winnable.
Avery Robinson now checks into the game for Waynesburg, and Stewart comes back in as she has the ball for Geneva. Now inside the Tipton on the right block. She kicks out to Stewart. She takes a three. Yes. Stewart for three gets Geneva on the board. 4-3 Jackets as Geneva works on their press. And they're able to get a turnover off that press. Here's Roth. Now the Malnick for three, too strong. Rebound, though, goes to Stewart as Liggett takes a corner three, not even close, as Wolf gets a rebound for Waynesburg. Gets it off to Orlowski. She drives. She puts up a right-handed layup. Wild shot, no good. Rebounded by Tipton. Outlet pass to Roth. Her layup is no good, but she is fouled on the play. That foul will go on Marley Wolf.
Marley Wolf was facing a 2-on-1 there. Rothler made one more pass. I think they probably could have scored that bucket.
Her first, team second. The first free throw is good for Geneva's Isabella Roth. Tie the game at 4. She's 1 of 4 from the free throw line going into this game. That free throw is too strong. Rebound goes to Orlowski for Waynesburg, gets it off to Dansby. She splits the double team. She drives the middle lane, kicks it out to Wolf. Now back to Orlowski. We have a foul on the floor. That'll go on Geneva's Malnick. Her first, team second, and Waynesburg will inbound the basketball from their own basket. Avery Robinson will have the duties of that. She gets to Orlowski as it was deflected, but Waynesburg's able to get possession as Orlowski puts up a scoop layup that is no good. As they fight for the ball, and it gets it out to Dansby, but she is stripped of the ball from Stewart, and she is stripped by Dansby. Wild game here, gets up to Orlowski, but the pass is too strong. Geneva will take over. 4-4. Low-scoring first quarter so far. 4:24 remaining in the first quarter of this PAC game. Stewart will bring the ball up for Geneva. She dribbles to her right, gets a screen, now goes inside to Tipton. Kicks at the Melnick. She takes a 3. No. Rebound though to Tipton, and she can't get her layup to go. Orlowski gets the rebound, and she gets fouled. That foul will go on Lauren Tipton, her first, team third. Really physical game so far, Wiley.
Tipton was definitely aggressive on that. You had Abigail Green and Andrew Orlowski down in the paint there trying to grab that board, and Tipton, she's thrusting her way in there. She's trying to rip it right out of their hands.
Elena McDermott will come in for Anika Dansby to give her a breather as Robinson controls the ball. As Geneva continues to press, gets it off to Marley Wolf, does Orlowski, gets it across the timeline. She now goes over to Robinson as they play catch. McDermott barking out instructions. Bounce pass over to Orlowski. Swings over to McDermott, fakes a 3. 6 to shoot for Waynesburg. Wolf takes a 3, top of the key, too strong. Rebound though, goes to McDermott, and she is fouled on the play.
Tripped up a little bit there. I think that was by Isabella Roth, and it is.
Yep, that is her second, team fourth, and we have another major change. We have coming in for Geneva, King, Shaw, Dudley, Hampshire, and coming in for Waynesburg will be the junior from Hampton, Brooke Fuller, and she led the PAC in field goal percentage last year at over 54% as Wolf will inbound it for Waynesburg. Gets it off to McDermott. Now Fuller, top of the key, gets it over the Wolf. Pass deflected out of bounds by Shaw. Waynesburg will inbound it, 19 seconds left on the shot clock. Wolf will inbound it in front of the Geneva bench. Wolf now gets it over to Fuller. Looks for a pass. Gets it off to McDermott. Now she dribbles. Bounce pass to Fuller is deflected and turnover forced. Here comes Dudley for Geneva. Gets it over to Hampshire. As we have another jump ball, possession arrow goes to Waynesburg.
Fuller was trying to rip that one right out of Bouquet's hands there.
Making her first appearance in the game for Waynesburg will be the 5'8" sophomore Catherine Henderson, and she'll give Marley Wolf a rest. As Geneva once again shows full court pressure that Waynesburg saw in their loss in the first game against Grove City. Henderson now gets it back to Robinson.
I watched the second half of the game against St. Vincent for Geneva, and they ended up running the full court press as well.
Green now gets it wide open. Fuller underneath. Layup score. Great job by Waynesburg breaking the press. Fuller has 4 points, 6-4 Waynesburg. Now wide open 3 by Dudley. No, off the front of the rim, no good. It is deflected out of bounds by Geneva. It will be Waynesburg basketball.
That was almost deflected out there by Kat Henderson, but luckily she got away with that one, and Waynesburg retains possession.
Robinson now has it off to McDermott. Once again, full court press. Hasn't given Waynesburg much problems in this game so far early on. Robinson now crossover. She takes a three. No, too strong. Rebound goes to Geneva. Gets it off to King. She takes a three, pull-up three, too strong. Rebound goes to Brooke Fuller, hands it off to McDermott. As she pulls it back, gets it off to Robinson. Now Henderson, she drives. Deflection, but McDermott's able to corral it for Waynesburg. Gets it off to Robinson now. Off to Fuller, she goes inside. McDermott takes a three. No. Off the glass, no good. Rebound goes to Shaw. As she tries to go the distance against Fuller, but she's blocked by Fuller. McDermott gets it. Great defense by Fuller.
Now's the time to rush on offense, 5-on-4.
Now Green wide open inside, and her layup goes. Shot, score, foul. Abigail Green will go to the line to look to convert the three-point play.
Abigail Green from Portersville Christian School. She played with the President's Athletic Conference Commissioner's daughter, Erin Endurko, at Portersville. Isn't that something, Adam?
Yeah, it is. That foul is on Abby King for her first team fifth, and now another wholesale change by Geneva. Abigail Green now at the line. She's 3-9 on the season. Looks to complete the three-point play. And she does. 3 points now for Green, 9-4 Waynesburg, 1:51 left. Orlowski comes back in for the Jackets. Now Stewart controls the ball, tipped in along with Leggett, Wolf, and Melnick. Now Leggett, she drives free throw line, gets it off to Wolf. Now Stewart fakes, she drives, puts up a scoop layup, no good. Rebound tipped in, offensive rebound, yes. Tipped in her first points of the game, makes it 9-6 Waynesburg. Now Henderson, as Waynesburg is able to break the press. McDermott gets it. Orlowski takes a mid-range jumper. Yes, nothing but net for Orlowski. She now has 4 points.
It's a bold move, triple teaming Kat Henderson and leaving Andrea Orlowski wide open. I don't think I would have done that.
Now Tipton, she gets called with a double dribble. Another turnover for Geneva. Waynesburg will take over the basketball. Orlowski will inbound it. 11-6. Waynesburg leads by 5. 1:09 remaining in the first quarter as Anika Dansby and Casey Castro come back in to give Robinson and Henderson a breather. As McDermott gets it now off to Dansby. Great job breaking the press by Waynesburg. Dansby puts up a right-handed layup, and she gets that layup to go. Dansby, her first points. 13-6, Waynesburg leads around less than a minute. Stewart wide open three. No, not even close. Rebound goes to Wolf. Too strong. Rebound Castrol for Waynesburg. Now Dansby controls it. Is stripped away, but she's able to get it. Tries to go inside the Orlowski. And it goes off her leg. Turnover will be Waynesburg basketball.
That was a great pass by Anika Dansby. Let's see the replay here, Adam.
Yeah, replay. Dansby goes coast to coast and puts up that great right-handed layup to give Waynesburg a 7-point lead. Now Stewart controls it for Geneva. Gets it over the Tipton as she dribbles to her left. She now goes inside. Wolf now is able to corral it. Shot clock at 13. Malinick thought about the three, gets it to Stewart. Now she drives inside, and her layup is off the back iron, and another jump ball. This time possession arrow goes to Geneva. 19 seconds left in the game. Shot clock turned off, and now Geneva head coach Michael Grinder will take a timeout. Let's talk about Michael Grinder, Riley. There's some interesting facts about him. He developed U18 and U20 youth programs in Moldova and Palestine. And not only that, Riley, he played overseas professionally for 5 seasons in Palestine, Guatemala, and Macedonia. So Michael Grinder has plenty of coaching and playing experience that he brings to this Geneva team.
Yeah, his second year here at Geneva, taking over for the legendary Lori Wynn. who sadly passed away.
And now here's a replay of Orlowski with her wide open jump shot, as she has 4 points early on in this game. Her and Fuller each have 4 points in this game as Geneva's getting ready to inbound it. Stewart will inbound it for Geneva. Gets to the Malnick, top of the key. She takes a three. No, off the back iron. Rebound the Wolf, back out to Malnick. She dribbles. She takes another three, and that won't go either. Rebound this time goes to Orlowski. 4 seconds left. Now Orlowski takes a three. Yes! Andrea Orlowski for three and beats the buzzer. She has 7 points in Orlowski. You don't see her take threes that often. That was just a desperation. Get one last shot off. Gives Waynesburg a 10-point lead here to end the first quarter. As great job for Waynesburg to start off this half strong, finish it off as we go to break here with Waynesburg down 10, or up by 10.
Piracy is a crime. If you see someone downloading copyrighted material without paying for it, then you should inform the authorities immediately. If you download any copyrighted material from the internet without paying for it, then you should go to jail.
Welcome back here to the Waynesburg University Sports Network to start this second quarter. Waynesburg leads Geneva 16-6.
Very fast-paced first quarter. I don't know how they'll be able to maintain that kind of pace of play for all 4 quarters in this game, because it's making me tired just watching them out there. Geneva's doing a great job, though, defensively. Even though the scoreboard, they gave up 16 points in the first quarter, the full court press is something hard to play against.
Castro inbounds now the ball to Dansby, as she's guarded by Shaw in the man-to-man defense for Geneva. Dansby looking for a pass, now bounce pass to McDermott. She tries to go inside the Fuller, but is nowhere close, out of bounds. Possession goes to Geneva as we're just underway in the second quarter play in this PAC game. Shaw will control the offense for Geneva. She fakes inside, now she kicks it out to Hampshire for three. No, not even close. Rebound though to King. To Shaw, back to King as she steps on the baseline. Turnover Geneva. Waynesburg basketball is third time that Geneva stepped on the baseline in this half. First time this quarter.
Yeah, all pretty much in the same exact spot as well, Adam.
Orlowski now bounce pass to Castro. Geneva's pressing again as Waynesburg will go over the timeline. The Dansby, she gets her layup to go from the left side. Dansby has 4 points, 18-6, Waynesburg lead. Now Shaw goes inside. Now over to Roth. Her layup is good. Roth now has 3. Now Waynesburg leads by 10. Now Orlowski is wide open. Euro step layup. Nope, too strong. Rebound goes to Shaw for Geneva. She goes the other way. She pushes the pace. But the ball deflects off her foot, and it will be Waynesburg basketball. Orlowski will inbound it to Castro. She goes in the middle to Dansby. She goes across the timeline. Dansby now, look, kicks it out to McDermott on the Waynesburg University letters. She gets it to Castro now. Orlowski drives middle lane. Dansby now, she drives. She takes a mid-range jumpers. Too strong. Rebounded by Shaw. And we have a Waynesburg foul. That foul goes on Andrea Orlowski. Her first, team first of the quarter.
Both of these teams have been very aggressive trying to get all of these rebounds and everything. Like you saw there, Orlowski got the foul because she was being too aggressive.
Marley Wolf, the freshman for Elwood City, checks in for McDermott. Shaw now goes to her left. She fakes a pass. Now she gets it off to Roth, and she drives. Layup won't go, but she's fouled. on the play. She'll go to the line to shoot a pair. That foul will go on Anika Dansby, her first, team second of the quarter.
Roth led all Geneva scores on Saturday with 12 points, but it didn't really come at a good clip. Only 4 for 16 with field goals, 3 for 10 from three-point land, Adam.
Stewart, Tipton, Melnick, and Dudley are come back in the game for Geneva. First free throw for Roth is true. Here's a replay now on that foul as Dansby gets too aggressive as Roth goes to the free throw line, look to get her second free throw. Too strong. As rebounds fought for between Tipton and Dansby, as jump ball, and they'll go for Geneva. 18-9, Waynesburg leads. Now coming back into the game is Bouquet for Geneva as Stewart will inbound it for the Golden Tornadoes. She looks for a pass, and she goes to Tipton beyond the arc. Now she hands it off to Melnick. She takes a three, top of the three, in and out. Rebound goes to Orlowski for Waynesburg as Geneva continues to press. Dansby now breaks the timeline. Gets off the Fuller for a baseline jumper, yes. Brooke Fuller with 6 points. 20-9, Waynesburg leads. Stewart now controls the offense for Geneva. Gets it over far corner to Dudley. Now inside the tip, and her turnaround jumper is no good, but she is fouled by Brooke Fuller. That is her first, team third. Lauren Tipton goes to the line. She's 2 for 4 on the season, averaging 12 points per game so far, and her first free throw is true. That's her third point of the game. Tipton, the senior leader for the Geneva team. Second free throw is too strong. Rebound to Fuller. She gets it to Castrol. Waynesburg up by 10 as Stewart forces a turnover, gets a turnaround jumper, and it's good. Stewart now has 5 points. Single-digit lead now for Waynesburg. By 8 points now, Orlowski. She's able to break the timeline, and she is fouled on the play as Waynesburg will inbound the ball right in front of the scorers table. That foul will go on Samantha Dudley, her first, team first of the second quarter. Dansby now controls the offense for Waynesburg.
Geneva's just been playing ferociously. That was a big turnover there by Stewart to get that and score.
Now Dansby tries to feed inside Fuller, but is deflected out of bounds by Tipton, and it will remain Waynesburg basketball with 18 seconds left on the shot clock. Marley Wolf will inbound it for the Lady Jackets. Waynesburg up by 8 with 7:13 left in the second quarter. Gets it to Orlowski. Now up to Wolf beyond the arc. She fakes shot. Now she drives baseline, and her layup goes. Great move by Marley Wolf. She has her first 2 points of the game. And that pass is intercepted by Wolf. She goes the other way with it. And she is fouled on the play. The guilty party is Cynthia Stewart, her first, team second of the quarter. Great sequence of play by Marley Wolf, getting that layup and then getting that steal.
Yeah, if Waynesburg wants to be competitive, not only this year but in the future, they're going to need to rely on a player like Marley Wolf.
Wolf now gets Castrol. She drives in middle lane. She puts up a right-handed layup, goes around town, but no good. As we have a foul on the rebound, it will stay with Geneva. They'll go on Brooke Fuller, her second, team fourth of the quarter, and she will take a rest. Abigail Green will come in. She has 3 points on the evening. Stewart will bring the ball up for Geneva. Hands it off to Melnick. Now kicks it up to Liggett. She fakes a three. Now she drives left side, and her layup is wild one, no good. As Tipton gets the layup, and she goes up, and she is fouled on the play. She will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Looks like that foul was on Abigail Green. That's going to be a big matchup right now as Abigail Green versus Lauren Tipton. Can Abigail Green stop Tipton enough until Brooke Fuller checks back into the ball game, or is Andrew Orlowski going to have to pick up Tipton?
Tipton gets her first free throw to go. She's now 2 of 3 from the free throw line in this game. She set a PAC record last year in a game rally, 27 rebounds. Her second free throw is true. She now has 5, 3 of 4 from the line. 22-14 Waynesburg lead as Geneva presses once again. Dansby breaks the timeline. She tries to get to Robinson, but is deflected by Stewart. Liggett gets it off to Dudley. Not sure what that was. I don't know if it was deflected, but it goes out of bounds and it remains with Geneva. Newly into the game for Geneva is Shannon Staver, the senior. Also to go along with Hampshire, Abby King. As another long shift for Geneva, another long change out. Hampshire has it for Geneva, gets it over to Roth. She takes a long 3, too strong. Rebound, Castrol gets it for Waynesburg. As Geneva, they won't press this time. Dansby now controls it for the Lady Jackets. As now we're approaching under 6 minutes left in this second quarter. Bounce pass now to Green, back out to Dansby. Now out to Orlowski, now skip pass over to Dansby. She now drives inside, tries a bounce pass, but it's a kickball off of Abby King's foot. As the shot clock will reset to 20 seconds, Waynesburg keeps the basketball. Avery Robinson will inbound it for the Lady Jackets. But before she does, Elena McDermott will come back into the game and give Anika Dansby a rest. Ready to get play resumed. Here's Robinson. She gets it to McDermott. Castrol now inside the Abigail Green, wide open, but her layup won't go. As McDermott fought for the rebound, deflects it out of bounds, so it's going to be Geneva basketball. As Geneva's looking to cut into its deficit down by 8. Bouquet now brings it up for Geneva. She controls the offense. Now top of the key to Hampshire. Gets it off now to Roth. She tries to go inside to King, as good play there as she forces a foul on the play.
Foul is going to be on Casey Castrol, shooting foul there. She had the right idea, trying to go for the block, just missed the ball and got the hand.
Yeah, that's Castrol's second foul, team 6. Now back into the game for Geneva is Shaw, Tipton, Stewart, and Melnick. King, her first free throw attempt of the evening. It's too strong.
Let's take a look here at the replay. King goes up, Castrol just hits the hand, misses the ball. Now we have King at the line.
King now, she 0 for 0 so far from the free throw line, but she makes her first of the season and cuts Waynesburg's lead to 22-15. 7 points for Waynesburg as Henderson comes back into the game for the Lady Jackets. And Orlowski is able to save it from going out of bounds. McDermott now has his leg cross his timeline and break the press. Great crossover move by Robinson. She takes a mid-range jumper and she gets that to go. What a move by Avery Robinson. Her first 2 points of the game. Waynesburg now leads by 9. Now Stewart takes the baseline jumper. No. Rebound though to Tipton. As they fight for it, as Robinson is able to get her after the battle for the basketball. Robinson now gets it over to Henderson as she is fouled on the play by Cynthia Stewart. Her second of the game as Waynesburg will inbound it. Robinson, team third of the quarter for Geneva. Robinson now inbounds it to McDermott. Winding down to the last half of the second quarter. Now gets over to Robinson, wide open 3, no, off the side of the iron. And Shaw will just let it go out of bounds, and it's going to be Geneva basketball. Replay now, this great crossover move by Robinson. She's able to go inside and get the jump shot. Great offensive sequence there, an individual effort by Robinson. Now Stewart will control the basketball for Geneva, goes inside the Tipton on the free throw line. She backs in, working against Green, and her layup goes. Spinning and winning is Lauren Tipton. She now has 7. Waynesburg now leads by 7. Now turnover. Shaw gets it. 2-on-1. Tries to go to Stewart. It's deflected by Orlowski. Now she blocks the shot attempt by Leggett. The shot for Geneva's no good, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Great
Waynesburg
defensive
basketball.
Great
Go
defensive
ahead.
effort right there by Andrea Orlowski. It was pretty much, at one point, it was 1-on-3, but it was mostly 1-on-2, and did a great job on not giving Geneva any points in that sequence.
Geneva pressing once again. Robinson gets the ball for Waynesburg. She goes across the timeline. Another crossover move, gets off to Orlowski, goes off her hands, and Stewart gets it, but she steps on the baseline out of bounds. Waynesburg basketball, once again Geneva stepping out of bounds on the baseline.
Yeah,
on the touchline.
Didn't really look like that Andrea Orlowski was looking for that pass there from Robinson, kind of behind her. It was kind of one of those things, oh, there's the ball.
Now Stewart steals the pass. She puts up a scoop layup, not even close. McDermott tries to get it, but it's saved by Geneva, and Tipton gets the layup to go. She now has 9 to lead all scores. 24-19, Waynesburg leads by 5.
Lauren Tipton is heating up, and that's not good for the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets.
Now Orlowski gets the ball for Waynesburg. She goes inside, gets it off the green, but that pass is deflected as Liggett gets it for Geneva. The Tipton, we have a 3-on-2 for Geneva. Stewart, wide open 3, no, off the back iron, but Shaw gets the rebound for Geneva. Look to slow things down a bit. Malinick now kicks it out to Stewart. She fakes, she drives baseline, layup, grazes the rim, rebound to Orlowski. Now gets it up to Robinson. She takes the baseline jumper. No, off the side of the rim. No good. Tipton gets it. 2-on-1 if they hurry for Geneva. As Tipton bounce past the Stewart, but is intercepted by Orlowski. Great hustle by her as she will go the other way. And Shaw takes it away from her as Sam Jones calls a 30-second timeout for Waynesburg, his first timeout of the game. And now since we talked about Coach Grinder, let's talk about Sam Jones. He is Waynesburg's all-time winningest coach, and in 2010-2011 he was named PAC Coach of the Year, so a great head coaching resume by Sam Jones in his 13th year for Waynesburg.
I just want to say that was a great timeout call there by Coach Sam Jones, being able to retain the possession when Andrea Orlowski was down and had pretty much nobody to throw the ball to, and Shaw was high-stepping over her like she was Allen Iverson over Ty Lue.
Yeah, now here's the Orlowski buzzer beater that ended the first quarter, as it was kind of just a desperation shot, as now she has 7 points on the game to lead all scoring for Waynesburg, as Orlowski came in the small sample size, averaging 22 points per game this season. McDermott will now inbound it over to Dansby. Gets it to McDermott. Now she dribbles with her left. Now bounce pass to Dansby. As she's getting double teamed here by Geneva. She needs help, as no foul called there. Now the foul is called. The foul will be called on Samantha Dudley.
Yeah, the official wanted to call it at first, then he put his hand back down, and he had to pull up his mask, and then he's like, okay, now I'm going to call it now that my mask is up.
Second team fourth for Geneva. McDermott inbounds it now to Dansby. Back to McDermott. She looks for her option. She skip pass now to Henderson. Now pass deflected by Bouquet, but Dansby gets it back to Waynesburg. Gets all McDermott for 3. No. Around the rim and no good. We have another foul called. That foul will go on Waynesburg.
Abigail Green hit the court pretty hard there on that play.
That foul will go on Dansby, her second, and now that Waynesburg has committed over 5 fouls in the quarter, Geneva will go to the line to shoot a pair. Geneva looking to cut into the 5-point deficit. First free throw is good from Emily Bouquet. Her first strip from the line. 1 for 2 coming into the season is Bouquet. Her second free throw. Too strong. Rebound, though, goes to Roth, and she puts up a layup, and it's no good. Orlowski tries to get it, but second time's a charm for Roth as she gets the offensive rebound to go. Now 2-point lead for Waynesburg as Dansby gets it over for Waynesburg. Break the press. Now approaching inside 2 minutes of the second quarter. Bounce pass now over to Dansby. Blocking foul now goes on Geneva's Dunley. That is her third foul of the second quarter, and now that puts Waynesburg in the double bonus, and Dansby will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. She's 0 for 2 coming into the year from the free throw line. She's averaging 7.5 points per game. Her first free throw is true. She now has 5 points. Dansby, the 5'4" sophomore, second-year starter for the Slade Jackets team. Her second free throw, too strong. Rebound goes to Geneva. Roth, as she goes coast to coast with her layup, as she puts it up, she gets fouled on the play.
Foul is going to go on Kat Henderson there.
Her first foul, as that was a shooting foul, so Roth will go to the line to shoot 2. She has 5 points. Her first free throw gets a friendly roll as it's good. She now has 6 points. 2-point lead for Waynesburg. Second free throw is true. She has 7. Now 1-point game for Waynesburg. This game's getting interesting. Dansby now controls it for Waynesburg. She gets across the timeline to Henderson. Henderson now gets called for a travel. Turnover, Waynesburg. Geneva basketball. Geneva will be able to take its first lead of the game with this possession here late second quarter.
Geneva's done an incredible job of bouncing back.
Roth for 3, no. Rebound, though. King gets it. Roth tries to go up for it, but she is stripped on the play. There's a fight for the ball as Geneva gets it. Hampshire, she puts up a layup. No good, but we have a blocking foul called on Abigail Green.
Coach Sam Jones doesn't agree with that call, and neither do I. I think there could have been potential there for a charge, but I'm pretty sure that's what Coach Sam Jones was thinking as well.
Hampshire will now make her first free throw appearance of the season, and her first free throw is too strong. Now with the second one, she'll look to tie this game. Second free throw. Yes. Hampshire's first points of the game. We're all tied up here at the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse. A little over a minute left in the second quarter, first half. Orlowski now brings it over the timeline.
Timeout by Sam Jones. He's frustrated that, well, I don't know if he is, but I'm assuming he's frustrated that Geneva's been able to come back into this ball game.
That was actually a foul on Emily Bouquet, her first, as Orlowski goes to the line to shoot a pair. First free throw too strong. Orlowski led the team last year in free throws. She's 10 of 12 going into this game, now 10 of 13. Her second free throw, though, is good. Orlowski now with 8 points give Waynesburg a 1-point lead. Now Bouquet controls the ball for Geneva. Now 3 to Roth. Yes! Roth from downtown. She gives Geneva the lead by 2 points. Now Roth steals it from Dansby as she's doing it all less than a minute here in the first half. She'll go all the way. Now she kicks out the King for 3. No, not even close. Rebounded by Robinson. Now she gets bounce pass to Orlowski. She goes inside with right-handed layup. Yes. Orlowski with 10 points to lead the Lady Jackets. Tie game, 25 seconds left. Shot clock turned off. Roth takes another 3, too strong. Rebounded by Abigail Green. As now foul will go on Emily Bouquet as she gets her hand in the cookie jar, as we'll go all the way down to the other side of the court as Abigail Green will shoot 2 free throws. Coming up shortly at halftime will be halftime interview with PAC Commissioner Joe Ondurko. Riley Holsinger will conduct that interview. Abigail Green's first free throw is good. She now has 4 points. Replay, here's the Orlowski layup as she knifes through the defense to get herself in double digits. Green's second free throw is also good. She now has 5 points. Waynesburg leads by 2. Shot clock turned off. As Orlowski intercepts it, 10 seconds left. Orlowski tries to go coast to coast, but she is hit on the play. Looks like in the nose as she's fouled going up for the layup. She will go back to the line to shoot 5 seconds left.
That was a hard foul that Orlowski took there by Emily Bouquet.
Foul goes on Roth, her third personal of the game. Orlowski will go back to the line. Her first free throw for Orlowski is off the front of the rim and no good. Here's the replay as Orlowski tries to make the layup, but she gets hit on the play by Roth. Looks like right in the nose. Orlowski looking to get her second free throw on this attempt, and she does. Orlowski with 11 points, and Henderson will come back in. Waynesburg has a 3-point lead. And now Coach Michael Grinder takes a 30-second timeout for Geneva. Look to draw up a play right before the half is over.
Yeah, Geneva has done a great job, Adam, in battling back in this game, being down 16-6 in the first quarter, and now it's a close ball game. It's a 3-point ball game, 31-28, 5 seconds left to go. I mean, Michael Grinder, he employs a fast-paced offense, and we've seen a fast-paced and tough-nosed defense as well from the Geneva Golden Tornadoes basketball team thus far in the first half.
Yeah, and after the first quarter, Waynesburg was up by 10, but Geneva's been able to come back and make this a ball game, a one-possession game, and they can potentially tie this game with a 3 on this possession. As Roth now controls it for Geneva. Now gets it off to Bouquet. She gets up a buzzer beater. No. Close, and a entertaining first half here as Waynesburg has a 3-point lead over Geneva, 31-28. Now it's time for our halftime interview with PAC Commissioner Joe Ondurko.
Welcome back into the Waynesburg University Sports Network halftime show. I'm Riley Holsinger. I am joined alongside the President's Athletic Conference Commissioner, Joe Ondurko. Joe, thank you so much for joining me and taking the time out of your day to do this.
Sure, Riley. Happy to join you.
So we've waited a long time. I know I've waited a long time. I'm assuming you've probably waited a long time since we've had sports in the President's Athletic Conference. Take us through what the meetings looked like with the athletic directors and the other administrators to try and get the ball rolling.
Well, I mean, this has been 10 months in the making. I mean, even going back to when the first championships were canceled back in March in the spring, and then, prepping all summer for a fall that you hope is going to happen, but you realize there are a lot of things out of your control. And then ultimately, reluctantly having to come to the conclusion to postpone fall sports into the spring. And then, also pushing the start of the winter back. We knew pretty early we weren't going to start before January 1st. And so our goal through that whole fall period was, let's do what we have to do to give ourselves a chance, so that if the circumstances permit, that we'll be, ready to be up and running with basketball and with other sports in by mid-January. And fortunately, we've been able, at least so far, to do that. I say that knowing that, nothing's guaranteed. We've still got a long way to go, a lot of hoops to jump through, but we're certainly excited to see our student athletes back on the courts and preparing for the other sports. And we're doing everything we can to keep it as safe as possible and to continue pushing forward.
So take us through to the decision of having a 9-game basketball season. What was the planning process behind that?
Well, basketball, quite frankly, is one of the most difficult sports to deal with in a COVID environment. It's indoors as opposed to outdoors. It's tight proximity. There's no social distancing, and quite frankly, the NCAA guidelines for when you have to shut down a team are very strict. It only takes one positive for an inner bubble personnel, for a player, a coach, someone, because they're so close to each other every day, to shut a team down, to put them in quarantine for a period of time. So we had hoped originally to do more, but I think reality just kind of laid out that we've got this period of time left to try to get something in and prepare and get a legitimate season with a legitimate tournament and championship. And so given the real difficulties we have, including what we have to do from a testing standpoint for basketball each week, this just was the logical landing spot. Ideally, we'd love to be a year from now back to normal, and I certainly hope we are. But given that, especially that several other conferences in the country in Division III have not been able to get off the ground, we're very fortunate. We have some advantages as far as our geographic proximity and some other things, but I think at this point it's been long enough. I think people are happy to get what they can get, and hopefully we can see it through to the end.
Yeah, hopefully so. And we've already seen Grove City. We had to postpone a game due to that situation over there. So let's say, talk hypotheticals here, if something like that were to happen come the playoff run, what's the plan if that would break out?
Well, first of all, we're constantly in flux with this, and by that I mean we have a plan, but there's always a contingency plan, if that makes sense. And I have to be honest with you, Riley. I mean, we could find ourselves in a situation where we get through a regular season and we get to a PAC tournament, and we have an outbreak, and we have a team that has to be shut down and they can't participate in the tournament, and that would be really unfortunate. But I think we'd be kidding ourselves if we didn't at least recognize that as a possibility. I do think, we have put a plan in place to have all PAC teams participate in the PAC basketball tournament. So if all 10 are healthy and able to go, we will have a 10-team tournament. We're saying that, and you'll notice in our wording, we always say all teams because we don't know that all 10 teams are going to be in that position. We certainly hope they are. But what we don't want is to exclude somebody from a tournament because they lost a good chunk of their season due to COVID. They might lower them in the seeding, but we still want them to have that opportunity if they're healthy and able to play. So, we will announce that as we get closer to it, what it's going to look like. But I can tell you online right now that our plan is that if we get to the end of the regular season and we have 10 basketball teams that are healthy and ready to go forward, we will have a 10-team basketball tournament, and we will adjust as necessary, as facts on the ground change, basically.
Well, let's talk about challenges right now. So what are some of the challenges that Division III schools have to face compared to Division I schools when it comes to combating COVID?
Well, the biggest challenge is no different than Division I. Quite frankly, our health and safety guidelines that the NCAA has put out, there is no distinction between what we need to do in basketball and what, say, Pitts or Penn State or Duke or anyone else has to do. Our guidelines are we are to test basketball players 3 times a week for COVID. I mean, that's a really high bar on non-consecutive days. But we have schools that have made a commitment to do that in an effort to try to get this season in. As far as what's different for us, I would say that, one of the things I think it's a little easier for us is we don't have the major television cable network contracts where, they for a long time, ESPN has dictated when games are played, much more so than the schools themselves. We don't have that problem to deal with. And we're really fortunate with PAC Sports Network and with you guys, the great campus, coverage that we get, that we can be a little more flexible there, I would say. I'd also say the other advantage we have, quite frankly, is our proximity. I mean, our geographic footprint, having 10 teams within a 2-hour radius of each other and not having to have overnights in hotels, that gives us a real advantage in trying to get things scheduled. And if we need to reschedule them, being able to do so. I mean, much, much more so than some other leagues. So from a testing and from a health and safety standpoint, our standards are just as high. But I think we have some specific things for the PAC that make this a little more viable option for us than maybe some other leagues.
So let's fast forward a little bit here to the spring season. So what are going to be some of the challenges that are going to come up when you combine having spring sports and having fall sports at the same time?
Well, the first one is obvious, Riley, and it's going to be facility planning. We've only got so much field space. We've only got so much court space, and there's only so many hours in the day. So, you think about trying to, finish up a basketball and volleyball season while at the same time spring sports, baseball, softball are getting ready to go. You've got football getting ready to go. We are going to have a season unlike anything that we've had if we're able to pull this off. It's going to be a real strain, particularly on our support staff. I can't say enough about our athletic trainers and our SIDs, because they're willing to do what we need to do to make this happen. But they're going to bear the brunt of it. They're on the front lines, and they're going to have some real challenges. We're going to have teams practicing at some odd times because we've got so many folks in demand for facilities. So I would say that's the biggest thing. But at the same time, nobody wants to have gone through what we've gone through in the last 10 months. If that's what we have to do for a short period of time to make sure our teams get a season, that we can crown champions, that we can give the best experience possible, then everyone in this conference is willing to do that.
So Waynesburg University opted into not having any fans or any students at games so far. The President's Athletic Conference put it up to schools to allow these teams to have student attendance if they wanted to. Have any other teams or colleges come to you and said that they were going to have students attend their games, or has it been kind of quiet?
A handful, I'd say a minority. I'd say most or I'd say the majority are like Waynesburg. And the rationale for that is not because we don't want people to attend. We'd love to have everybody attend, the students and non-students. But what's our priority here? Our priority is to compete safely, to not spread COVID. And the more people you bring into that environment, the greater chance you have of it spreading, of having a lack of containment, which threatens not only the whole season, but threatens the campuses too. So our priorities are we want to finish the semester on campus, and we want to finish the season successfully. So if we have to limit spectators, that's unfortunate, but that's a price that we're willing to pay to make sure our main two priorities take place. I'm really hoping as this semester goes on, if COVID continues to decline, we can take a look at that and possibly lighten that somewhat. But that's really out of our control. It's more dependent on the pandemic and what we feel is safe and healthy to move forward.
Yeah, and kind of bouncing off that question right there, in the press release, it said that those policies will be reviewed coming throughout the season and throughout the winter sports, throughout spring sports. So what do you think it'll end up taking, hypothetically, for fans to return to games to support President's Athletic Conference sporting events?
Well, I think it's going to depend on the sport to a certain degree. You can certainly in outdoor sports have an advantage over that over indoor sports. So I don't know that the standard is necessarily exactly the same across the board for all sports. I think getting, basketball, like I said, is a real challenge. Volleyball in the spring is a real challenge. An outdoor where you can socially distance, where you can mask, where you can have some separation, maybe that bar isn't quite as high. So I'm hesitant to sit here today and say this is what we have to get to. Certainly, what do we want to see? We want to see the virus continue to decline in Western Pennsylvania region, in the Pittsburgh area. We want to see increased penetration of vaccinations in our region. All those things we're going to be looking at, and in addition to kind of the micro data on our campuses, that we want to see those trends going in the right direction. When do you reach a critical mass? I'm hesitant to give you this is the point that's going to happen, other than we want to do that and make that shift only when we know we're really confident that it's safe for us to do so.
All right, thank you so much for joining me once again. Stay tuned to the Waynesburg University Sports Network for the second half of the basketball game.
Have you ever been to the Everly Library? If not, you should, because it's great. They have books of all different genres: history, biography, fiction. Try The Evolution of Life, Life of Pi, or Jurassic Park. So what if books aren't your thing? Try movies like Frozen, or TV shows like Lost. Books and DVDs aren't the only thing though. Take a trip to the second floor. Welcome to the Writing Center. These tutors will tell you everything you need to know about writing a paper, and they'll help revise your essays. Now let's head back down. Behold, the Knox Learning Center. Need to print something out 5 minutes before your next class because you procrastinated? No problem. You can also print off pictures of dogs. Because, well, you can. So So grab your homework, laptop, and textbook and study diligently. Bring your lunch too. Actually, you can't. That's illegal. Now you know the Everly Library. Stop by anytime. Seriously, it's open all week.
At halftime this season, but luckily for them in this ball game, they aren't trailing as they lead 31-28. I'm surprised we didn't hear blinding lights a little bit more yesterday for Super Bowl Sunday, Adam. But let's talk about the first half a little bit. What do you think each team needs to improve on to win this game? Because this is a winnable ball game for both teams.
For Waynesburg, it has to be the offensive rebounds. Geneva leads that category with 16 offensive rebounds, 2-2, and also Geneva has 8 second points compared to Waynesburg 0. So if this game continues to be close, that might be something that can decide this game is who gets more second chance points, as Geneva has the edge over Waynesburg. And for Geneva, the field goal percentage, they are only shooting 19% from the field, 2 of 18 from 3. If they want to win this game, they have to shoot better than what they are now, as they're only down 3. And Waynesburg has something at stake in this game. They've won 19 straight games against Geneva, and Geneva's looking to end that losing skid tonight.
The last time Geneva beat Waynesburg was February 19th, 2011. That's a long time ago. And the last time that Geneva beat Waynesburg right here in the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse was January 12th, 2008. I was in second grade, Adam. I didn't even know I wanted to be a sports announcer at that point in my life. Quite a big difference in time from the last time the Golden Tornadoes defeated the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets, as we are getting set to start the second half here in the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse. If you enjoy our content, make sure to check out all of our other content on the YouTube page, WUDP. We have everything. Shows ranging from sports talk to politics to campus news to entertainment. Whatever you're looking for, we more than likely have it on the YouTube page, WUDP. It's definitely a different atmosphere. Feel right here in the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse, not having any fans this upcoming season. PAC made it so schools could decide if they wanted to have attendance, but Waynesburg opted to not have any students here at the game, as Elena McDermott is going to start off the offense for Waynesburg. Orlowski, right wing, drives into the paint. Passes out to Castro for 3. Off the iron, no good. Rebound Tipton. Tipton tries to chuck it down to Stewart. Stewart puts up a shot. No good from her. Orlowski, rebound. Orlowski has a hot start to the season. Came into this game 81 points away from 1,000. And that ball goes out of bounds. Waynesburg's going to keep possession.
Yeah, and Orlowski, she now, with 11 points in the first half, is 70 points away. And when I was interviewing her before the season, that was her personal goal, is to reach that 1,000-point milestone.
I don't think she's going to put up the 81-point game like Kobe Bryant would have in this game here, but she'll get close to it by the end of the season. Coming into it, she needed to average 12.5 points per game to reach that marker. Castro on the left wing. Ball gets stolen away, driven downfield, and it is put in by Tess Liggett, the Point Park transfer. Liggett's first points of the ball game. Orlowski, Fuller. Fuller gets points herself. They trade points on that drive there. Right wing, Melnick. It's good. Emily Melnick's first points of the game. Saturday, she was 0 for 7 from three-point land. Makes a 3 there. Lena McDermott takes the ball up for Waynesburg, gives it to Anika Dansby. Dansby looks for Orlowski. Orlowski puts up a shot, no good. And that's going to go out of bounds. Geneva Golden Tornadoes ball, 33-33. All tied up right here in the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse with 8:22 left in the third quarter. Shaw has the ball for Geneva. Melnick, who just made the big three. Down to Tipton in the paint. Tipton puts up a shot. No good. Rebound by Brooke Fuller. Fuller and Tipton is a matchup to watch for the rest of this game. Castro left wing, three-point specialist. Alina McDermott puts up a three of her own. Air ball. Rebound by Isabella Roth for Geneva, and she's going to drive into the paint, put up a shot for herself, and it goes for Isabella Roth, who led the first half in scoring for the Geneva Golden Tornadoes. Roth now has 13 points. Roth ended up leading the scoring on Saturday as well for Geneva. We have a foul here. First personal foul on Tess Liggett. First for Geneva here in the second half.
And Riley, with Geneva taking that 2-point lead, this is Geneva's second time with the lead, as Waynesburg has had the lead for most of this game.
Marley Wolf, right wing, gives it to Fuller. Trading it around in a triangle. Phil Jackson would be proud of the triangle offense right now. Dansby back to Wolf. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Pass over to Castro, right corner. Three-pointer, no good. Shot clock goes off, ball goes out of bounds. Waynesburg keeps possession.
Yeah, and that wasn't a shot clock violation, Riley, because the ball did hit the rim. So once the buzzer went off, went out of bounds, it stays with Waynesburg possession, to where if it was a shot clock violation, it would have been Geneva basketball.
Line change for Geneva here, just like in hockey. There's advantages to having these kind of line changes that Geneva's been having. Keeps the players fresh, and for the pace of play that Geneva's been playing at all game, it's honestly a benefit for them. Players get tired less, keep subbing in and out. Castro inbounding it for Waynesburg. Marley Wolf, freshman from Riverside. Wolf puts up a three. In and out. Rebound Fuller, nope. Shannon Wolf gets it. Hampshire passes it down into the paint. Abby King puts up a layup, no good. Ball's going to go out of bounds. Waynesburg ball. Geneva leads Waynesburg 35-33, 6:51 left in the third quarter. Nika Dansby takes it past the timeline for Waynesburg. In the paint, puts up a little bit of a floater. Off, no good. Rebound, Shannon Wolf. Cynthia Stewart has the ball for Geneva. Stewart, right wing. Drives in. Ball's going to get stolen away by Marley Wolf, and that's going to be called a travel. Geneva's going to retain possession here. Abby King, the 5'9 freshman, will be inbounding the ball for Geneva. Stewart, three-pointer. Bingo! Cynthia Stewart, 8 points in this ball game. Nika Dansby past the timeline. Jackets' best ball handler. Took over ball handling duties after Monica Starr graduated 2 years ago. Castro left wing. Passes it to Marley Wolf. Wolf with a fake. Orlowski, paint. Puts up a layup. No good, but Orlowski is going to get to the foul line. That foul is going to go on Shannon Wolf for Geneva. Wolf's first foul of the game. Second foul of the quarter for Geneva. Couple of substitutions in for the Yellow Jackets. The Waynesburg coaching staff, well, Matt Pioch in particular, he ended up giving Orlowski the nickname the cartoonist for all of the different ways that she ends up getting to the line, as she misses the first foul shot there. Orlowski has one of the better free throw percentages in the PAC and on this Yellow Jackets ball team. And Orlowski's going to make the second one. Orlowski, 12 points in this game. Roth, layup, lays it in and it's good, and one attempt for Isabella Roth is going off in this ball game, becoming a leading scorer for the Geneva Golden Tornadoes squad. She is 15 right now, has a chance to make it 16. Rebound Orlowski. Robinson drives in the paint, tries to find Brooke Fuller, but a little bit over her head.
Yeah, Fuller, she went inside there as Robinson thought she was further back than she was, and she just threw it over her head out of bounds.
That's the second time in this game, as we're going to have a timeout here by Waynesburg. Second time in the game that Robinson hasn't had a good pass, ended up catching her teammates off guard earlier in the first half with Andrea Orlowski, then on that play right there with Brooke Fuller. And let's see the replay. Isabella Roth on that and one, and then here's the replay of the ball going over Brooke Fuller's head on the pass by Robinson. 40-33 here in the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, as the Geneva Golden Tornadoes are trying to make history and upset Waynesburg University for the first time in 2011.
Yeah, and one of my things, Riley, that Geneva had to improve on was that field goal percentage. They're now up to 26% so far in this third quarter.
Shaw taking the ball up, puts up a layup, no good. Rebound Lauren Tipton, she's been an animal. Here's a three-point attempt, no good. Lauren Tipton, another offensive rebound, 2-in-1 possession. She says, I'm going to take it myself, and doesn't get it to go. Shaw finds Tipton. Left wing, Roth, three, off the backboard, no good. Offensive rebound again, Melnick. This one goes for them. 3 offensive rebounds in 1 possession there for Geneva. Andrew Orlowski. Lana McDermott. McDermott to Robinson. Robinson, the freshman, puts up a shot by the free throw line. It falls for her. Robinson with the 18-foot J. Robinson has 4 points in this game. Down in the paint. Tipton on Fuller. Tipton puts up a reverse layup, and it falls for her. Lauren Tipton winning the matchup against Brooke Fuller on that play. Tipton has 11 points in this game. More than she had on Saturday. Marley Wolf on the elbow for a shot, no good. Rebound Geneva, Tess Liggett. Liggett to Shaw. Shaw, Melnick, wide open three. Melnick's attempt, no good. Offensive rebound, Tipton. Tipton, no good. She gets another one. Tipton, 2 offensive rebounds in that possession. We get a jumper to go for Emily Melnick. Melnick, 7 points alone just in this quarter. Ball's going to go out of bounds off of Shaw's hand, and Waynesburg is going to keep possession as we're going to have more line changes. A lot of players come in and a lot of players come out. Geneva off to a hot start here in the third quarter in the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse and lead the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets 46-36. Anika Dansby will be taking the ball up the court for Waynesburg, and that's going to be stolen away. Abby King with it. Goes ahead, finds Cynthia Stewart. Stewart puts up a shot, and that's going to be a blocking foul on Anika Dansby. Cynthia Stewart, one of the star freshmen for this Geneva Golden Tornadoes team. Her attempt goes right off the front iron. This season, Stewart is a 42% free throw shooter heading into this game. Neither attempt goes for her. Rebound, Dansby. Dansby to Castrol. Castrol finds Robinson. Robinson looking for someone to pass to. Finds Anika Dansby, wide open, three-pointer. Off the back iron. Robinson grabs the rebound for Waynesburg, drives into the paint, puts up a right-handed floater, and it falls for Robinson. Avery Robinson, 6 points in this game. Left wing, Hampshire. Hampshire drives into the paint, puts up a right-handed layup, no good. Rebound, Casey Castrol. Castrol missed the first game of the season, came back for the game on Saturday. Castro puts up a left-handed layup, no good. Rebound, Andrew Orlowski. Orlowski gets fouled on the way up. Looks to be by Abby King. Orlowski, foul's going to go on Cynthia Stewart, not Abby King. Like the Waynesburg coach's call, or the cartoonist finds so many different ways to get to the line. Orlowski found another way to get to the line as she drains the first attempt of this trip. 13 points so far for her. Second attempt at the charity stripe, swish. Cynthia Stewart drives in, tosses it back out to Abby King. King on the elbow. Hampshire. King for three. No good. Rebound, Andrew Orlowski. One of the best rebounding forwards in the PAC. Robinson, three on the right wing. Doesn't fall. Hampshire taking it up the court for Geneva. Hampshire drives in. Right-handed layup. Falls for her. Hampshire has 3 points in this game. Orlowski gets the ball kicked away. Oh, they're going to give that possession to Geneva. Kicked off of... Never mind, they're going to say it's Waynesburg's ball. I was about to say, that did not look like Andrew Orlowski that touched that last to me. Is it just me, or am I seeing things, Adam? Did he point?
Yeah, he pointed
Geneva
way,
ball.
Yeah. He must have got his signals mixed up.
I think that's what they might be talking about right now. Coach Sam Jones for Waynesburg, Coach Michael Grinder for Geneva. Orlowski chucks it out, finds Avery Robinson at midcourt. Robinson passed to Abigail Green. Tried to put up a shot, but it got knocked away and out of bounds. It's going to retain Waynesburg ball.
Yeah, great defense there by Emily Melnick as Green goes up for a layup, but it was stripped by her, but Waynesburg keeps possession.
Orlowski puts up a shot, no good. Oh, Orlowski's able to strip the ball away from Lauren Tipton, though, and there's going to be a little bit of a scrum as Orlowski's going to hold on to it, and they're going to say Geneva ball. Shaw taking it up the court for Geneva. Drives into the paint. Uncontested, left-handed layup. It falls for Shaw. Kiel Shaw, 2 points in this ball game. Going to be a foul on the court as Anika Dansby tries to take it up. That foul is going to be on Emily Melnick. Melnick's third foul of the game. And that is Geneva's fourth foul of the quarter. Geneva leads Waynesburg 50-40, 1:44 left in the third quarter. Dansby gets a screen here from Abigail Green. Passes out to Avery Robinson. Thought about shooting, ended up passing it back over to Dansby. Dansby's pass is going to be stolen away from Isabella Roth. Roth driving down the paint. Puts up a layup, no good. Lauren Tipton able to get the rebound and pass it over to Isabel Roth, who puts up a three. No good from her either. Andrew Orlowski is able to grab the board for Waynesburg. And Waynesburg is going to keep possession as there's a foul on K.L. Smith. K.L. Shaw, excuse me. Shaw's first foul, team fifth foul of the quarter, and that's going to send the cartoonist Andrea Orlowski to the free throw line. Orlowski's made a lot of trips to the line tonight as she makes that one right there.
Yeah, all of Orlowski's points so far in the second half have come from foul shots.
Orlowski's second attempt, good for her. Orlowski's made five trips to the line so far, not 5 attempts. Shaw with it. Did not play on the game in Saturday. Driven in, Tess Liggett. Gets it to go on the right-handed layup. Liggett has 4 points in this quarter, the Point Park transfer. Adding some experience adding some skill to this Geneva Golden Tornadoes team. Avery Robinson, right-hand floater, no good. That's going to go, almost went out of bounds. Robinson saved it. Orlowski. Shot isn't good. Abigail Green grabs the board. Anika Dansby drives in the paint, puts up a right-handed floater. No good off her, off the back iron as well. Waynesburg's grabbing those offensive boards you said about, Adam. Lauren Tipton was trying to drive into the paint, got it tipped away. And that ball is going to go out of bounds, stay Waynesburg ball. Tipton was driving in, got it kicked away. Roth ended up recovering it. Tried to do something, lost possession of it as well. Under 30 seconds left here in the third quarter. Waynesburg leads 52-42, or Geneva leads 52-42. There's going to be a foul. It's going to be on Kiel Shaw. Shaw's second foul of the quarter. Team sixth. Orlowski back at the line once again. That's going to be the theme of this quarter for Waynesburg, is just getting Andrea Orlowski to the free throw line. She makes that attempt right there. Orlowski is coming off of a game on Saturday against Westminster. She ended up having 26 points, 11 of 19 shooting. Here's the second attempt. It's good for her. Orlowski plays the way like how she did 2 years ago, and Brooke Fuller plays like how she did last year. Waynesburg could be very dangerous down the stretch in the shortened season. Tipton. Shot, no good. Rebound, Anika Dansby. Tipton had a little bit of a cream action there with a little shimmy shake. Avery Robinson, three-pointer. It's good. 3, 2, 1 on the clock, and that is going to end the third quarter here as the Geneva Golden Tornadoes lead Waynesburg University 47, excuse me. If you're enjoying this content, check out more on the YouTube page, WUDP, for anything you're looking for. WCTV related, we have politics, news, sports, you say it, we have it. Let's head to a break before we return for the fourth quarter of the Geneva and Waynesburg game.
Piracy is a crime. If you see someone downloading copyrighted material without paying for it, then you should inform the authorities immediately. If you download any copyrighted material from the internet without paying for it, then you should go to jail.
Let's take a look at that Avery Robinson three-pointer with about 5 seconds left to go in the third quarter before we enter the fourth quarter. Beautiful shot there by Avery Robinson, who's really come on strong in that quarter for the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets, putting up 7 points alone in that quarter. Close ball game here. Geneva now has the lead, scaring Waynesburg a little bit as Geneva leads 52-47.
Yeah, that was a big three-pointer by Robinson to end the quarter as Waynesburg ended that third quarter on a mini 5-0 run as they were down 52-42 at one point.
Casey Castro with the ball for Waynesburg. Passes over Avery Robinson. Robinson puts up a jumper off the iron. No good. And we are going to have a whistle. Adam, what did you see on that play?
Yeah, that was a foul on Shannon Wolf as that foul was on the floor in Waynesburg. Waynesburg will inbound the ball.
Casey Castro with the ball. 52-47. Geneva leads. 9:48 left to go in the game. Andrew Orlowski drives in the paint. Puts up a shot. No good. That's going to go out of bounds. Geneva is going to get the ball with 9:42 left in the fourth quarter. Geneva has a lead 52-47.
Yeah, and Sam Jones was not happy with that call as he thought that ball went out on Geneva.
Bouquet with it. Bouquet passes over to Stewart. Stewart, right wing, telling Shannon Wolf to give her a screen. She gives her one, and there's going to be a foul on the court. That's going to be on Shannon Wolf, and Waynesburg is going to get the ball back. 9:27 left here in the fourth quarter. Geneva leads Waynesburg University 52-47. Geneva trying to pull off an upset that they haven't pulled off in this building in over about 13 years. Nika Dansby taking the ball up the court for Waynesburg. Geneva still with the full court press. Zone defense here. Andrew Orlowski drives into the paint. Passes over to Avery Robinson. Robinson puts up a shot. It falls for her. Robinson, 11 points in this ball game. Cynthia Stewart drives in the paint, puts up a shot. No good. Robinson grabs the rebound. Robinson came into this game with only 3 points on the season. She already has 11. Just this game alone. Andrew Orlowski. Over to Casey Castrol. Castrol, three-pointer. It falls. Casey Castrol's first points of the game, the three-point specialist for the Waynesburg University Lady Jackets.
Waynesburg now on a 10-0 run, Riley.
Bouquet drives in, puts up a layup, doesn't fall. We're going to have a whistle on the court. Foul should be on Shannon Roth, and it is. And that is going to be Roth's third foul of the game. Geneva already has 3 fouls in the quarter alone. Tie ball game here, 52s apiece. Robinson taking it up, passes over to Nika Dansby. Dansby puts up a layup, it falls for her. Dansby, 7 points in this game. Shaw. Hampshire, back over to Shaw. Three-pointer attempt, Hampshire, doesn't fall. Rebound, Geneva. Emily Melnick. Melnick, three-pointer on the left wing. It falls for her. While you say Casey Castrol's the three-point specialist for Waynesburg, you'd say the same about Emily Melnick for Geneva. Melnick has 10 points in this game, all in the quarter alone. Castrol tries to find her roommate, Brooke Fuller, and that ball goes out of bounds right underneath the legs of Fuller.
Yeah, Fuller, she was open on the left block, and Castrol just did not throw an accurate pass to Fuller.
Shaw has the ball for Geneva. Over to Melnick. Melnick just made that big three for Geneva. Melnick driving in, right-handed layup, it goes for her. Emily Melnick, 12 points alone, just in the third quarter. Or just in the second half. Avery Robinson driving in, puts up a shot, no good. She grabs her own board. Nika Dansby, wide open three-pointer, thinks about it. Instead, passes over to Andrew Orlowski. Orlowski puts up a shot, no good. Brooke Fuller tries to save it, goes out of bounds. Emily Melnick and Lauren Tipton pick her back up. 57-54. Geneva leads Waynesburg. 7 minutes left to go in this ball game. Melnick, three-pointer left wing, off the back iron, no good. Rebound, Tess Liggett. Liggett tries to get up a shot, no good. Andrew Orlowski ended up with the ball, but went out of bounds, and it's going to be Geneva ball as Elena McDermott will check into the ball game, and Avery Robinson will check out. 30-second timeout by Geneva. Adam, this has been a fast-paced game the entirety of it. I didn't really expect it to. I thought both teams would get tired out, but yet both teams are still hanging in here. Head coach Michael Grinder for Geneva, he employs a fast-paced system. He likes fast offense, and that's what the second half and the first half have been so far in general, coming over from the University of Pittsburgh at Titusville. Waynesburg's been matching them pace for pace. Don't have the same numbers that Geneva does, but they've been able to hang in there.
Yeah, and as I'm alluded to earlier, Riley, Waynesburg was down by 10 early on in or late third quarter. They cut that lead to 5, and then they had a 2-point lead, went on a 12-0 run. But Geneva's responding back is now up by 3. So this should be a very good finish that we're gearing up for. Once again, Geneva looking to end their 19-game losing streak against Waynesburg.
Kiel Shaw inbounding the ball for Geneva. Looking for someone, finds Tess Liggett. Goes off her body and out of bounds. Waynesburg University basketball as Geneva still holds the 57-54 lead.
One thing I wanted to quickly mention, Riley, is for the viewers that are watching, the benches are flipped as they're normally on the far side of the court, but they're flipped to follow the social distancing protocols by the PAC.
Nika Dansby with the ball, drives in, looks for someone, finds Casey Castrol. Castrol thinks about it, instead drives in and puts up a shot. It falls for Castrol. Castrol 5 points in this half. Shaw. Lauren Tipton down in the paint against Brooke Fuller. Tipton puts up a shot, no good. Lena McDermott, defensive specialist on this team. Finds Anika Dansby. Dansby, right wing, the primary ball handler. Casey Castrol, deep right corner. Fuller's pass gets stolen away. Orlowski has a hustle play, able to keep it in bounds. Lena McDermott has the ball, and there's going to be a whistle and a foul on KL Shaw. And that's Shaw's 4th foul of just this half alone. Geneva, 4 fouls in the quarter alone. Almost in the double bonus range. Castrol tries to find Anika Dansby. Little mishap on the pass. Dansby takes it up the court for Waynesburg. Castrol thinks about a 3-pointer. Drives in, puts up a shot. That's going to be blocked by Shannon Wolf. There's going to be a whistle on the play with 5:53 left in the 4th quarter. Geneva holds the 1-point lead over Waynesburg University. Foul is going to be on Elena McDermott. Her first foul of the game. Kale Shaw taking it up the court for Waynesburg, or for Geneva. Orlowski intercepts a pass between Shaw, and Elena McDermott will be driving it up the court. Right around this time, the Waynesburg University men's basketball team should be playing against Geneva. As Castrol puts up a 3-pointer, doesn't even touch the rim. That's going to go out of bounds and be Geneva ball. PAC doing it a little bit differently this year. Playoff picture especially in the regular season. Only a 9-game regular season. Some games have been postponed, for instance, on Wednesday, Waynesburg was supposed to play against Teal. That game got postponed due to COVID issues. Playoff picture is a little bit different as well. Left wing 3, it goes for Melnick. Melnick, 15 points. Robinson finds Orlowski. Geneva keeping at it with the full court press. Shaw's being tough defensively. McDermott's pass intercepted by Melnick. Melnick driving in, puts up a shot, no good. Lena McDermott with the hustle play. That ball's going to be stripped right away from her. Andrew Orlowski grabs the rebound, just gives it right back over to Anika Dansby. It's going to be a whistle on the play with 4:47 left to go in the 4th quarter. Geneva holds a 4-point lead over Waynesburg. We're in the double bonus now, and that's going to send Anika Dansby to the line on the foul by Tess Liggett.
Double bonus, very crucial down the stretch here, Riley, as Waynesburg will be shooting 2 free throws from here on out, and Geneva, as Waynesburg only has committed 1 foul, so Geneva still has its way to go to the double bonus to shoot free throws on every foul.
Dansby missed the first attempt, it made the second. Dansby has 8 points in this game. Entered this game as a 33% free throw shooter for the season alone. Tipton against Fuller, the matchup to watch for. Her pass got tipped away, and Andrew Orlowski ends up with it. Avery Robinson passed the timeline for Waynesburg. Robinson having a strong showing in this game with a team that doesn't have too many freshmen, just Robinson and Marley Wolf. Lena McDermott with the ball in the left corner, and that's going to be knocked out of bounds by Kiel Shaw. Couple of substitutions, Cynthia Stewart and Emily Melnick coming into the ballgame for Geneva. Robinson inbounding the pass for Waynesburg. Passes it over to Elena McDermott. Dermott finds Orlowski. Robinson, 3-pointer, left corner, no good. She tries to rush and get her own board, but that goes out of bounds. Robinson with the hustle, noticed her three wasn't going to go in, decided, you know what, I'm going to go sprint after it. Sprinted a little too quick, ended up running right past it. Cynthia Stewart has the ball for Geneva. Stewart tries to find Lauren Tipton, and there's going to be a foul on the play with 4:04 left in the fourth quarter. That foul is going to go on Brooke Fuller. Waynesburg only has 2 fouls as a team. Melnick inbounding ball. Cynthia Stewart has it. Right wing. Emily Melnick driving in. Back over to Stewart. Stewart three-pointer. Stewart's shot has got it going on. Nika Dansby going to be heading to the line for 2 shots.
Timeout taken there by Geneva's coach Grinder, as that was a big 3 there by Stewart to make this a 2-possession game inside 4 minutes here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Michael Grinder was not happy at all. You can see him right now. Well, you can't see him right now, but now you can. Now you can see him right now. Great job by Jesse Kane on camera number 3 over there. He's a little upset right now. He's just yelling in that huddle. You can't really tell from that angle, but he is not happy at all. Geneva with a 63-57 lead. A little under 4 minutes left to go in this ball game. A lot can happen during then.
Yeah, and one of the things, Riley, about field goal percentage, Waynesburg in the first half was shooting 38%. Geneva was shooting 19%. Now Geneva's shooting 30% for the game and now 32%. So Geneva's field goal percentage has gone up as Waynesburg's has gone down, and that's one of the main reasons why Geneva now has a 6-point lead after trailing by 3 at halftime.
Yeah, Waynesburg hasn't been able to shoot the deep ball as well. Well, neither team really has. On Saturday, Geneva played against St. Vincent. Could not get off to a hot start at all, but not many teams can against St. Vincent. And Waynesburg also struggled with the 3-ball on Saturday against Westminster. Only made 9.5% of the shots as Dansby's first free throw goes in. Members of the Waynesburg University women's basketball team bench clapping for her. Dansby's second attempt, they both fall for her on this trip to the charity stripe. Dansby, 10 points. Stewart tries to find Lauren Tipton. Brooke Fuller does a great job on intercepting the pass, and there's going to be a foul as Lauren Tipton ended up hitting Brooke Fuller in the face. She says she's good, though. Called the foul there on Tipton for hitting Brooke in the face. Brooke's going to end up going to the free throw line. She was greatly missed in the first game of the season against Grove City. Came back last season. Brooke told me she was shaking off most of the rust, and she was excited for the game tonight. And here we see her at the free throw line. Fuller's attempt doesn't go in. Fuller has 8 points tonight. She was perfect on the season for free throws, going 6 for 6 on Saturday. Missed her first one of the season there, and missed the second one right there. King has the ball, finds Cynthia Stewart. Stewart tries to find Lauren Tipton. That goes out of bounds off the hand of Brooke Fuller. Looks like Geneva's game plan here for the last 3 minutes and 33 seconds of the game is to try and feed their best player, Lauren Tipton. Cynthia. Right wing, Stewart. Stewart driving in, right-handed layup. Off the backboard, no good. Whistle with 3:25 left in the fourth quarter, and that's going to be a Waynesburg ball, as there's going to be a foul by Lauren Tipton. You're right, Adam. The double bonus has been playing a huge factor late in this ball game, sending Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets to the free throw line, and this time, arguably the best free throw shooter that Waynesburg has, and that's Andrea Orlowski.
Yeah, and Fuller, when she went to the free throw line the last possession, she missed both those free throws, and I would have made it a one-possession game, so 2 big free throws coming up here for Orlowski and Waynesburg.
Orlowski, 18 points in this ball game. Second team, all PAC a couple years ago. One of the best forwards in the league when healthy. has 19 points now in the ballgame after that second made free throw at the charity stripe. Shaw, left wing for Geneva, taking over a lot of the ball handling responsibilities. There's going to be a foul on the court. What happened there, Adam?
Looked like it was a push from behind on Waynesburg on Casey Castro, and it'll be Geneva's inbounding the ball.
Castro's third foul of the game. Pass right underneath the Tess Liggett, and Liggett gets it to go for her. Geneva extends its lead to 5. Liggett 6 points, all in this half alone. Big transfer from Point Park University. Avery Robinson with the ball, the right wing. Castro, back to Robinson. Orlowski driving into the paint, puts up a shot, doesn't get it to go. Lauren Tipton with the rebound. Isabella Roth for 3 on the left wing, doesn't get it to fall. Avery Robinson with the board. Coach Sam Jones talked about it before the game. He wanted to force Geneva and its shooters to take a lot of its shots from the left, get a hand in the face, because Geneva isn't as good at shooting from the left side of the court. Anika Dansby gets the play set up. Andrew Orlowski driving into the paint. Passes it over to Brooke Fuller. Fuller tries to put up a shot, but it's going to be fouled on the way up. That foul is going to go on Emily Melnick. Melnick's 4th foul of the game. 2:22 left here in the 4th quarter as Brooke Fuller is sent to the free throw line. Fuller makes her attempt there. Fuller 9 points right now. Has a chance to make it 10 though. Brooke Fuller, one of the PAC's better forwards, alongside with Lauren Tipton. And we're going to have substitutions coming in here for both teams. Just Geneva. Shaw taking it up the court for Geneva. Finds Lauren Tipton. Tipton against Fuller. Left-handed layup falls for Lauren Tipton. Tipton, 13 points in this matchup. When you talk about Fuller is one of the better forwards in the PAC, arguably the best, you have to mention Tipton's name as well, as Dansby's shot doesn't go there. Rebound by Liggett. Liggett to Tipton. Tipton loses possession of the ball. That goes out of bounds. It's going to stay Geneva ball.
Looks like it'll be a foul on Waynesburg's Casey Castro.
4th foul for Casey Castro, Waynesburg's 4th foul of the quarter. Shaw tried to find Liggett. Went right past her, went into the arms of Emily Melnick, though. Melnick, layup, doesn't fall. Robinson, rebound for Waynesburg. Robinson over to Anika Dansby. Dansby waits for the offense, tries to find Brooke Fuller and doesn't get it to go, as something's happening with the clock. I have no clue, Adam.
Yeah, the buzzer went off like it was for a sub or for a shot clock violation, but the shot clock was set fully, so now the officials are conclaving at the score table to find out what the issue is.
Yeah, I looked up at the shot clock. I saw 22 seconds on it, and then all of a sudden it ended up beeping. There we go. We have John Glenn, former Waynesburg University football player here. John Glenn Davis, he ends up running the score clock for Waynesburg University basketball games.
Yeah, you see the officials there discussing what the issue was. It looked like it went out on Waynesburg, and after the buzzer went off, it looks like it'll be Geneva basketball. But again, when the buzzer went off, it really went off for no reason. And one thing I've noticed so far late down the stretch is as Waynesburg is able to cut the deficit down to 3, Geneva's able to answer right back with a bucket of their own to make it a 2-possession game. So Waynesburg here late in the game isn't so far coming out with the key stops for if they want to come back to tie it and eventually take the lead. But Geneva just continues to expand the lead and get a basket when they need to get a basket the most.
67-62, Geneva Golden Tornadoes lead Waynesburg University. We're entering crunch time. Got Thunderstruck playing by AC/DC right now.
One of AC/DC's best songs, I think.
Fun fact, I learned this in class the other week. Brooke Fuller had no clue who AC/DC was. Can you believe that, Adam?
No,
You're in
I
that
could
class
not. I
with
could
me.
not when she told me that.
Who doesn't know AC/DC? Our stage manager, Drew Rhea, doesn't know either.
As the officials are still trying to figure out what is going on as they rule Geneva basketball. As it looked like it was just like a not intentional buzzer as Geneva will take over.
Kiel Shaw with the ball, gives it over to Abby King. King to Liggett. Liggett driving in, puts up a layup. It falls for Liggett. 8 points for her. Better game for her than Saturday when she had 4 points and 6 turnovers. Robinson, right wing, three-pointer, it falls. Avery Robinson, 14 points for Waynesburg. Have a day. Kiel Shaw to Lauren Tipton. Tipton, right-handed layup, falls for her. (71-65). Little under a minute here as we finish this one out in the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse. Michael Grinder's trying to get a substitution in, and the referee says no sub. Trying to get Isabella Roth into the ballgame for crunch time. Not going to let it happen. Anika Dansby taking the ball up the court for Waynesburg. Marley Wolf. Brooke Fuller, it falls off of Fuller's leg and out of bounds.
Yeah, great defense there by Lauren Tipton. She strips the ball away from Fuller and forces it off of Fuller's body. Geneva basketball here. Waynesburg desperately needs a stop here, down 2 possessions.
Waynesburg running the press now, under a minute. About 40 seconds left on the clock. Kiel Shaw, and there's going to be a whistle. That's going to be a Waynesburg ball. Legal screen, am I right, Adam?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
That's Lauren Tipton's 5th foul of the game. Not 4th foul. The scoreboard had it wrong. Nika Dansby, right wing. 30 seconds left here. Avery Robinson, Andrew Orlowski. Orlowski puts up a shot near the free throw line, doesn't get it to fall. Rebound by Lauren Tipton. 20 seconds left. Isabella Roth. Might see an upset here. Kiel Shaw drives in, passes over Lauren Tipton. Tipton puts up a shot, doesn't get it to go. There's a whistle, and there's going to be a foul. 9.9 seconds left. Geneva College Gordon Tornadoes are looking to go 2-1, while the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets might fall to 0-3. Enjoying our content? Check out more of it right here on the YouTube page WUDP as Lauren Tipton makes her free throw attempt there. Pretty much have everything you need, whether it's sports, politics, news, entertainment. We have it all right here. Tipton's second shot doesn't go for her. 30-second timeout on the court. Waynesburg, 8.9 seconds left. Waynesburg's down 7, 72-65. A comeback doesn't really look likely right now, Adam.
Yeah, and really, as I mentioned earlier, it's come down to down the stretch is who gets the clutch basket when they need it most. And so far, it's been Geneva getting the clutch baskets and clutch stops over Waynesburg. And very quickly for the men's side for Waynesburg, Waynesburg leads Geneva at Beaver Falls 18-12 with a little over 10 minutes left in the first half of that game.
A key reason on why Geneva is winning is because of the boards, and nobody's gotten more boards in this game than Lauren Tipton. 16 points, 18 rebounds for the Golden Tornadoes. Anika Dansby finds Andrew Orlowski. Under 10 seconds left. Orlowski, three-pointer, doesn't get it to fall. Rebound Isabella Roth. And that's going to end it here in the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse as the Geneva College Golden Tornadoes record improves on to 2-1. And they have defeated Waynesburg University for the first time here since January 12th, 2008, as they're going to walk away with a 72-65 win. We'll send it to a break, and then we'll come back with a recap. Geneva College 72, Waynesburg University 65, as not what was expected for the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets. Came into this game thinking that this is probably one of the more winnable games of the season, and they come away with a loss, falling to 0-3. Geneva moves over to 2-1. Adam, what are some of your reactions from the game?
I think my biggest thing is rebounding. Geneva out-rebounded Waynesburg 61-47, and more importantly, Riley, they dominated on the offensive rebounds, did Geneva, as they had 25 rebounds compared to Waynesburg's 9. There was a point in the second half where Geneva had 3 cracks at making a shot, and they missed the first 3 shots, but they got those offensive rebounds, and eventually they got the shot to go, as they had so many bites at the apple and they officially got it to go through. And that's really, I think, the biggest difference was Geneva just they were able to have better rebounding than Waynesburg did.
I agree with that, and especially when you have a player like Lauren Tipton, who's one of the better rebounding forwards in the President's Athletic Conference, going against another great rebounding forward in the President's Athletic Conference in Brooke Fuller, who you just saw walk off the court. You have to win one of those. You have to win that matchup, and Lauren Tipton did, which was big for Geneva. She ended up getting those 18 boards, 16 points. That's all from the Rudy and Marisa Fieldhouse. A special thanks to Jay Hawk from RPC Video for all of their technical help. For my partner, Adam Morgante, our producer, Matthew Mansfield, Jack Hillgrove, faculty advisor, Melinda Roeder, department chair, Richard Krause, and the rest of the WUSN crew, I'm Riley Holsinger saying good night and so long, with the final score being Geneva College 72, Waynesburg University 65.
This has been a presentation of the Waynesburg University Sports Network.